are. Women and children first. All men must go back, fight honorably for Ukraine. Just come through that all men aged 18 to 65, Ukrainian men, need to leave the line because of possible total conscription of the Ukrainian men to fight for the country. Maxim is 24 years old, is that correct?
Yeah, that's
Maxim,
right.
you are still waiting in this line, hoping that you will get through.
Yeah, I really hope that I will be so lucky to cross the line, but I hear the man yelling that
Yes.
we all should come back, all Ukrainians, I mean.
Are you afraid, and by the way, behind you right now are tons of Ukrainian men who are leaving the line, who are forced to leave the line. Are you afraid of the Russians? Are you afraid of fighting them?
They say I need to leave the line.
Thank you for visiting Ukraine. We're here at the Polish border after a very lengthy walk of many kilometers in this refugee crisis, the worst refugee crisis in years in Europe, maybe since the end of the Cold War. You would think that these lines are reminiscent of 1989, when people were fleeing Romania and Hungary and East Germany and communist Poland, and they're all coming to the West, the EU. What a scene, guys. Thousands of cars stretching over tens of miles or dozens of kilometers. This is a scene that has played out in hundreds of years of warfare, thousands of times. The refugee train. Over the next 24 to 48 hours, at least 1 million people are expected to walk into Poland on this road. And we're just 2 of them. 2 of 1 million or more. All right, so the air raid sirens are still going off. We're out on the street right now. Just trying to get a vibe for what's going on, trying to see what the danger is. The streets are mostly empty, but there are a couple cars. They're definitely emptier than they usually are. Nobody knew what was going on. It was a terrifying moment, and I decided I had to get out immediately. So I went to the train station, which seemed the most sensible option because the airports were closed, and I tried to book a train. There were no trains. Everybody was full. We had to wait. I had to wait for an hour for even to see the ticket office. There were no trains. So then I went to the bus office, waited an hour, no buses. I tried to look into car hire. I tried to look into Uber, BlaBlaCar, any sort of ride-sharing app. No rides. And so I was getting a little desperate at this point because there were clearly Russian incursions upon Ukraine. There were tank battles in Kyiv and Mariupol. The country was under attack, and I had to get out as an American because that would be pretty bad for me to be stuck there. Because you had elderly people walking alone on the side of the road with these sticks. They were hobbling along. There was one grandmother in particular that told me she was going to Poland, and Poland was a far way away. So it's amazing the resolve of these people to escape. And so you saw hundreds and then thousands of people walking down the street with luggage, trying to bring everything they could west as fast as they can. And then people started abandoning luggage. And you had fathers and mothers who were doing the best they could to keep their children consoled. But it wasn't working, obviously. This is a huge humanitarian crisis, the worst refugee crisis Europe has seen since the end of the Cold War. And so it was just this very heartbreaking scene. And then when night fell, I was about 3/4 of the way there, near the border. I was like 10, 15 kilometers from the border. The Ukrainian army soldiers started coming out onto the streets and with loudspeakers announcing no Ukrainian man aged 18 to 60 is allowed to leave the country. You must go east and fight. You must go east. You must defend your country. And in a rather unempathetic way, they were saying, say goodbye to your girlfriends, say goodbye to your wives, say goodbye to your mothers and daughters. You're going east.